Hello, everybody. This video is going to cover the basics of what we call additive modeling. So building up a part from smaller components. This is probably my preferred method for most things, although there are, of course, exceptions where one is, subtractive modeling is definitely better than additive modeling. So we're going to take a look at this part here. All right? Don't worry, you don't have to, get all the information about it from that, but that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and make this in my widgets folder. And this is where you've probably been starting to work on those wooden block pieces. So in order to make a new part, remember, we're just going to go to the plus, create part studio. For now, I want you creating most of your parts in separate part studios. It definitely is possible to create multiple parts together within one. That's a little bit more advanced than what we're doing right now. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and rename this. I think it's a good idea to not just leave them all as Part Studio 1 and Part Studio 2. And so since I'm using additive modeling, I'm just going to name it Additive Modeling Example. That way I know what it is, and when I'm looking down at these parts down here, I've got those available for me. So we have the picture of this thing right here, and we're just going to go with each of these boxes being like 1 inch for now. And so let's start off with the middle piece. I think that's a good place to start with this one. What you're going to notice here is like this rectangle. So I might make this rectangle as my sketch and then extrude it down to get that shape. And so this one's 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I go back to my my view here, I also want to think about which plane I'm sketching on. Since I looked at that rectangle at the top of the shape, I'm going to want to put that on this top plane. So I'm looking at it down right now. And maybe I want to look at this. This is kind of like the top-down view. So then I'm going to draw a rectangle. It's often useful to use these center point rectangles. You certainly don't have to. I am going to use a center point rectangle here, just because that's going to center it at the origin. And so it's got to be 4 inches. So I hit 4 just to type it in there. Enter gives me to the other one by 3. Enter, and you'll notice it's completely black now. That's pretty important. If you see any blue at all, that means you haven't added all the information that you need. And there's something that's just kind of a random, maybe close, but maybe not dimension. So you can either hit the check mark or just go straight to extrude. When I'm extruding, I like to go back into a 3-dimensional view. Now, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units tall. I could go up like this. I could also switch the direction and go down if I'm thinking about this square as being the top. It really doesn't matter. But I've got 6 inches right there. So far, that's what I've got. I've got the middle block right there of my shape. Now I just need to add on this and this, which are exactly the same, but we're going to add those on. So we could do this a couple of different ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this shape here, this rectangle that I'm tracing out, with a rectangle tool right up against the part, and then just extrude it out 2 units. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3. So I'm actually sketching right here on this side. So when I go to New Sketch, I just click on the side I want to sketch on, and I like to turn it around so I'm looking straight at it. You don't have to. This time I want to use a 2-corner rectangle because I want to start in this bottom corner. You'll see it turns orange to tell me I'm right on there. And then I'm going to go right off the edge of the part because it does go off the edge of that little rectangle. It goes, there we go. It goes past it a little bit. So my rectangle looks like that. And like I said, it's going to be 5 by 3. And now I can turn it back to look at it. And I'm going to extrude it out. That part right there. Sometimes it'll pick up automatically on what you did like that. Sometimes you're going to have to click 2 inches and hit the check mark. And I've got that side. Now, later on, we'll talk about how the fact that, since this is a symmetrical part, it's exactly the same on the left and the right. We can actually use some of the tools in CAD to make our lives a little bit easier. This one right here would be the way to go. It's a mirror tool. But for now, it's a little bit more of an advanced feature. So we're just going to turn it around and make a new sketch on this side. Right there. Again, I'm going to turn it so I look straight at it. Now this time I can actually do this all without any numbers. I'm going to start at that corner, and I just want it to match up with, well, maybe I can't do it all with numbers. And I want to start and end up at that corner. Now it looks like it's still blue, so I'm going to have to type in the numbers. So 3 and 5. Turns all black for me.
Do you have a USB splitter?
No. Sorry. Thanks, Mr. Miller. That was Mr. Miller, everybody. So we got our sketch in there. I like to, again, turn it back to that view, the isometric view, top, front, right, whatever it is. And then we're going to go ahead and extrude that part out. Yeah, there we go. It picked it up automatically. And 2 inches. And there we go. We've got our part as an isometric, or in our 3D modeling, we can put it as an isometric if we want. You've also got options here as other things here. You can turn perspective on. If any of you have ever taken art classes where you've done perspective drawing, that's what's happening there. But the default is going to be isometric, which is what we've been drawing in class. So there's your part. The next video right below this is going to be a video on how to do this subtractively, which is, instead of modeling piece by piece, is to model a big thing and then take it away. So I'll see you in that video.